And can you stop it with the jump cuts? Your vids make me nauseous, Joe.
Other games try way too hard to be funny, but this game just gets the right amount of goofy.
You know about as much about funny as the irate gamer knows about originality. Hell, speaking of the bores, this...
Hey, you there! Go fetch me the morning paper!
What? I didn't sign up to this army to grab your paper!
Get your own damn paper! Soldier, that's insubordination! To the brig with you!
Oh, this is the 5th time this week.
is funnier than any joke you've ever painfully made retarded children cry through. You're about as funny as the Westboro Baptists are respectful.
And I know Goofy.
There's a big difference between goofy and painfully hammy, and I don't think you know that difference, Joe.
Now, in addition to the spells, you can also find some really cool replacement weapons, like more powerful swords, new mage staffs.
Again, how does that set this apart from other RPGs? This isn't a brand new feature, Joe. Are you really that impressed with standard inventory upgrades?
And even an M60.
Stand back, children! I pity-poopity, hoppity-pippity-pippity-boppity, screw it!
Yeah, when I said painfully hammy, I forgot to add mind-meltingly bad. I forgot first grade math, thank you very much. Stop it! You suck!
There's so much good about Magic, I feel like a criminal for only paying $10.
Uh-huh. There's that blatant commercialism again. Yeah, let's reiterate the price again to the viewer, just in case they missed it, right? Hey, Joe, you should work for GameStop. They'd love your sales rep skills.
And there's also a challenge mode that has you fighting different waves of enemies with different features depending on what arena you're playing in.
And this sets it apart from other games with challenge modes. How? This is what I hate about your reviews. You never say anything observant, anything relevant about anything you're playing. The observations you make are observations any schmo can make. It's not brilliant what you're saying, it's just the apparent. God! Say something new! Say something relevant, for Christ's sake! Say something different!
There's just one huge problem with the game. The elephant in the room that needs to be mentioned. You see, its release on Steam at least was a bit of a disaster. The multiplayer bugs, a few single-player bugs.
Well, gee, you already showed us you have no idea what the difference is between single and multiplayer, Joe. How can we take that comment seriously?
Since its release, the developers have been releasing very regular patches almost every day. Some helping, others seeming like it made the game worse, at least for me.
Really? Great, let's hear about them.
It was incredibly frustrating, especially knowing that there's a good game under all this.
Yeah, it's such a good game, you can't even tell us what makes it good!
I'd like to give this game two final verdicts. The first one for the initial release, which was a buggy multiplayer mess. Now, the single player was relatively stable, so it scores a 6 out of 10, even with all of its issues, slightly above average.
Does it score a 6 out of 10 because you can play 4 players in single player mode? You fucking idiot!
Now, if I could play this game without any issues at all, being the great value that it is, at only $10, and being kind of on a long adventure with some really fun gameplay, I'd have to rate this game a 9 out of 10 when all the issues are taken care of. And I couldn't have even rated it a 10 out of 10, but it is held back a little bit by its controls and some questionable design decisions.
Alright, let's talk about those. What questionable design decisions? You uninformative bastard.
Really, I know I'm gonna hear it for the aggressive way I approach this, but you know what? It needs to be said. Judging by this video alone, I'd have to conclude that Joe's viewership consists solely of complete blithering idiots who can't seem to formulate an opinion of their own, and by that guy with the glasses, fanboys who believe everything that comes out of that website is holy. The shit Joe points out is shit I could easily read in the back of the box of the game. What the hell is he contributing? Moreover, he seems obsessed with being a salesperson for the industry. You know, he wants to have that Godfather-like power of deciding what sells and what doesn't. I'm convinced Joe's viewership consists of the dumbest people on earth, because they seem to be incapable of seeing how generic and utterly uninformative he is, and all they seem to do is defend him to the last man, even when he's clearly in the wrong. I leave you with this fun tidbit. This is pulled from his Top 10 Worst Games of 2010 video.
Number 6. Final Fantasy XIV Online. Oh man, my friend Spoonie called this one. After getting some time with the game at PAX, he had some pretty harsh words for the title. And from what I saw, I completely agreed with him. But there were so many out there that dismissed his comments. Now look at what the final result of Final Fantasy XIV's release has become. Major publications blasting the game, saying it's at least another 6 to 9 months before it's ready for prime time. And it's, quote, it's impossible to recommend to anyone in its current state. The kindest thing that could be said about this MMO is that it has a good intro movie. It falls flat at every turn. It isn't worth the hassle.
Where's the MMO categories? It's a huge market, and yet there's no PC games, no strategy games, no MMOs.
Well, we have a best PC game category. Civ's nominated, StarCraft's nominated.
What happened to
for Studio of the Year? What MMOs should have been nominated for Game of the Year?
There are so many MMOs, like Dungeon Fighter Online. There's one example. You could also, what other games? Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy MMO.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I've made my point. If you want to keep taking your advice from a guy who can't even keep his own opinions consistent, be my guest. Till next time, dear viewer.